Good afternoon, and it's the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre channel. And tonight, unfortunately, Samantha couldn't make it, but Brian stepped in.
Yay!
Hey, cheers for that, Brian.
I'm not as pretty as Sam, but I'll try my best.
And also, we're going to talk about summer solstice.
Yeah.
But me and Brian know sort of equally as much about it, in all fairness.
Yeah, it's not something. It's more like Sam's sort of side of things than it is ours. But like as paranormal investigators, what we see summer solstice, obviously it's the longest day, and you're supposed to go out and watch the sun come up on that day. But for us, it's another one of those times like Halloween that the veil's actually supposed to be thinner between the two worlds at that point. So for us, it's a good time to investigate or do little experiments and things. So that's kind of my paranormal take on the solstice. As to its whole origin and what it is, I'm not 100% actually sure on that.
Yeah, I'm certainly intrigued by it. I did speak to a lady, Liz, the other day just to find out sort of what happens really, sort of pagan rituals, things like that.
Yeah.
So that was the interesting side of things. But yeah, it's just totally sort of different from anything really.
It's a total different side to what we sort of do. Like you say, it's a pagan sort of thing, and I kind of understand why they do it. I understand why they do it. I just don't know the exact history of it and where it originated from and things like that. But I do know the theory behind it. But like I say, it's something I've never really followed. It just went with this time of year. We just take advantage that, like I say, supposedly the veil's a bit thinner, so it's easier for spirit to communicate, supposedly. So it's handy for us.
Yeah, that's right. It is, and I do love Stonehenge. Have you ever been anywhere like that before?
No, I've always wanted to go to Stonehenge. I've been very close to it, traveling backwards and forwards on holidays and things, but I've never actually been. We would love to go.
Yeah, I did actually go, and it's beautiful. Like I'd heard the horror stories that it can be crowded. I got there, it's quite late on in the day, and there are quite a lot of coaches around. And you think, oh no, but when I arrived, which it's ideal to get there quite late on in the day, if you can. So then, by the time you're going, a lot of the coach parties are going home. So you're making your way. You can either walk to it, which is quite away from the car park, or there is a little coach. So get on the coach, go down there, and they're just stunning. You can't get near them, you can't touch them, but you don't want to because you don't want to sort of erode anymore, do you?
That's the problem. I mean, I know you used to be able to actually go and walk through them and around them and things, but they obviously put a stop to that. But yeah, I understand that people say, well, it's Stonehenge, it's stone, it won't hurt it, but the amount of people that were going, and like I say, and touching and other things, it causes damage.
Yeah, that's right.
All the time.
I've actually been to Callanish, which they're very similar to Stonehenge, and they're untouched.
Yeah.
So they've still got the original marks on the front as well.
Yeah.
So to see that as well, there's no tourists there. You just walk in. There's, there might be odd sign there, but it's just fantastic to actually go to a place like that.
Yeah, the energy must be fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't know much about this sort of thing then. That was the problem. So I'd love to go there now, but it's just a bit of a trek.
That's the thing. Some of these places, they'd be brilliant and they'd be amazing to go, but they're quite a drive. Some of them. Yeah. It's just, well, we can't complain. I'm saying like nothing like that's close, but here in Whitby, obviously we've got stuff that's right on our doorstep. But yeah, it seems like everything that you want to go to is miles away. It's never just down the road.
That's right. Yeah, I was tempted to go to Northampton the other day to where Queen of Scots was executed. It's about 45 miles away, and I couldn't be bothered yesterday. But I don't know. I just kind of thought it was in Scotland. You automatically assumed. Then when I saw it, it's like quite local. I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was really tempted. I've got a quick shout out to Noreen Hill, Irene Takora, Patricia Ampera. Thanks for watching. Mark Dudley. Lewis Haddo, thanks. So even though Brian's not into solstice, he's definitely into the paranormal, and you've been doing it ages.
A very long time, yeah. Like I say, a lot longer than I care to admit. Well, like I think I've experienced the paranormal right from 3 years old, thereabouts, and been actively investigating for years and years and years and years and years. Years are just dropping away.
Yeah, you did sort of a lot of serious work and filming in Gibraltar as well, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, we actually filmed the TV show there, and that's when, if you like, I started taking it much more seriously. You know what I mean? And that was about the time that we started getting into the ITC. It was the very first time we'd used ITC. I'd even heard of it really, like properly. So yeah, it was kind of a sort of like an exciting time when things really started to move forward.
Yeah, because people didn't use ITC then. You know, it wasn't known about.
It wasn't as big back then. It wasn't. I mean, I can't remember how many years ago now, but it was a long time ago. We used some of the first what we call ITC apps, the Ghost Radar and things like that, which are a bit dodgy, to say the least. But that wasn't what I call real ITC. That was just, you know, like messing around really, and it was not very well known. But it was about the time that we started filming the Ghost Trail that I started looking into it, and a few credible pieces of software came out that I thought, we'll take a look at that. We'll have a look. It's interesting. It's intriguing. I like the way, like the principle behind it, and it just took off from there. And that to me was the time when it really started skyrocketing.
Right. Yeah, because a lot straight away again, oh no, the rubbish, blah blah blah. Okay, you've got different things. You've got word banks in some, you know, and
the problem is
you don't know how actually they work with spirit.
That's it. I mean, we try to explain them. We always open how they work. I tell people every time we come on one of these shows how they work. And these people say, well, crap, it just doesn't work. Well, here, you're going to get people like that with everything.
That's right.
They don't care whether it works or not. They just don't like it, so it doesn't work. You'll never convince them that it ever does. But the principle behind it's quite easy. We know spirits are just energy. That's all they are. And we do know they can manipulate energy. Light, they can move objects because they are just energy, but they can manipulate sound. Sound is just energy. Sound is just an energy form like anything else. And they can manipulate sound. So we give them sounds to manipulate, make it easy for them, or make it as easy as possible for them. Now, obviously, like what you just said, some apps have some dubious content in them that's there to deceive. Of course they do. They always have. Yeah. There's always been people who do that. And you've got to trust the developer who's making these things, that they're not putting stuff like that in there. And we try to, again, be open and honest as we can, that we don't, and we never would. But obviously, the ones that slip through the net that do cause problems for the people who are doing this thing seriously, because obviously it puts everything in a bad light, doesn't it? That
that's
if that one's fake, then they all must be fake. And if this one's got dubious stuff in, that one will have. And it, you know, we've always been fighting that battle, that you know, to try and convince people that what we're doing is genuine. And when you see all these other ones on the App Store, they put, you know, for entertainment purposes only and stuff like that. But what we try to reword it, because I understand why they do that.
Yeah, it's sort of legal, isn't it, in a way?
It's a legal thing. But what we put the thing is, like, that still puts it to many people that means it's fake. For entertainment, it's fake. So we try to word it different. We've tried to put, like, you know, we push they are serious tools, just like any other tool that you use, like a K2 meter. A K2 meter was never, ever designed for the paranormal field. It was designed to find wires and nails in a wall for building. That's what it's designed for, and to trace wiring and stuff. But somebody think that spirit are made up of electromagnetic energy, and these things happen to pick up, a K2 meter picks up electromagnetic energy from the wires and things. Hence, the theory is there that the principle it would work. And they started using it. So not a lot of the stuff we use in the paranormal field was ever designed for the paranormal field. And
it still isn't, is it really?
Exactly.
You still don't know what it's doing.
Exactly, not 100%. I mean, Sam picked up on a good thing, that was, you know, we started looking at the K2 meters and how inaccurate they might be. Not as accurate as what we think at picking up spirit, and they can be they can be sort of not manipulated, it's the wrong word, but everything of environmental stuff around us can affect it without you realizing it. So we kind of steer away from those now. But the principle is, though, someone picked up that it could be used for the paranormal field, and the apps are the same. You know what I mean? They were never this thing, but we wanted to sort of push them forward as like a serious tool, just like someone found out a K2 meter could detect electromagnetic energy and a spirit, and then used it for that as a serious tool.
Yeah.
We try to do the same with the apps. That yes, you get fake ones, and you'd be like Sam's always said, do your homework.
Yeah.
Go on the Play Store or go on the app, whichever you're on iPhone or Android, and look at all the comments, look at all the reviews, and especially reviews from paranormal investigators, not just your average person who thought, oh, that looks cool, I'll try that, and then tries it, no, it's a load of crap and it doesn't work or whatever. Look at, if you can, you'll notice, you can see the difference between people who don't know what they're doing and are just getting it for a bit of fun, and people who are seriously into the paranormal. And look at those reviews and just think, and because those type of people will soon find out if there's repeating audio or if there's anything dodgy in there, they'll pick up on it straight away. They really will. So just do your homework, you know what I mean? And you can weed those ones out. It's unfortunate that you have to, and they're there, but like I say, we're never going to be able to stop that from happening.
Yeah, it's all about probability, isn't it? Like you ask a question, is the word, you say you're in a graveyard, you get a word like grave. Okay, it's on par. But then you ask something else, you ask a specific name, can you say my name? Then it comes out clearly.
Exactly, pull information. What we do as well, because people obviously use ghost boxes. You got your standard ghost box.
Yeah.
And that scans forward radio. Now, when you get words out of that, say, like you say, the example you put, you're in a graveyard, and you get it says grave, but there is still a possibility that it just hit a radio station at the right time, because it's scanning lots of radio stations all at once. Yeah. There still is a small possibility that it hit that word just at the right time.
Yeah.
And that's why we use reverse audio, because with the apps, there is no way a word can come out anywhere. Never mind the word grave. So if the word grave came out at that specific point, there is no chance that could have come out by accident, or have scanned a radio station and it just happened someone on that radio station said the word grave or something similar. Yeah. With the apps, the way we develop them, there is no way that can come out. There's no way a word can come out forwards. Never mind the one that matches where you are. So that's why we did what we did, and how we designed the apps to take that chance out as much as possible. Even though I love ghost boxes, I still think, I'd still love to have them. Some of them just for collector's items, because some of them are amazing and the design. Yeah. But they've always, every time I've used one in the past, I've always had that doubt, like, was that genuine spirit communication, or was that just very lucky to hit a radio station and someone speak at the right similar, it puts that doubt in your mind.
Yeah, totally get you.
Yeah.
We've got a quick shout out then to Dave Jenkins, Pamela Percival, Neil Smith, Andy Saw. Thanks for watching. Mark Bonar. Thanks for watching, everyone. We've got a question from Lois then. Mm-hmm. So it's, what would your advice be to new paranormal investigators about apps?
Well, new paranormal investigators, it's the same that I'd say to even a seasoned paranormal investigator who maybe hasn't used the apps as well. You get the app, it's about understanding how the app works. Do your homework. I mean, I can explain tonight as well if you want how they work for people like Lois who maybe don't know. But you get your app, you do a bit of homework, understand how it works, and then just practice with it. Just start doing small sessions at first. Don't sit and do a great big long session with this thing. Do small chunks, because it then gets your ears attuned to how the app works and the sound of the app, and pick it up on those forwards words. But it also gets spirit used to how it works. People think sometimes you can just turn these on, the spirit just knows, oh, I know how to do that. Fantastic, here we go. You don't. You've got to build up like a trust sometimes with spirit that, and just do little small sessions, see how that goes. And just if you're getting, concise communication, or you're getting any communication, then just start building it up.
Yeah.
And always, the golden rule when you're doing these sessions with the apps, especially, record it. Always record it. Because you will miss stuff in the moment. If you hear a reply, you get excited, and you start, like, your mind starts going, and you miss stuff that's been said. So if you record it and play it back, you'll be surprised how much is there that you missed in real time. So that is an important one.
Yeah, that was it, because we recently met you in Whitby and went to the castle, didn't we?
Yeah.
And like, there's words which came out then, and we're like, oh, we've got this. And then,
you get excited. We still do after all this time. We make these things, we develop them, and we use them all the time. But every time a word comes out or something, you just sort of like, you like go giddy, don't you? It's like, oh my God, it's
right.
Yeah. So, and then you miss half the next dozen words that's coming out.
Yeah, because for some reason you've got something around you, haven't there? And particular word comes out, particular name comes out when you use it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got a mutual friend, Phil Newton. He was watching the live. His name came out, and I don't know how it happens if it's reverse audio.
The thing is, it can't. That's what we say. I mean, and I can't say that with 100% certainty. I mean, I know there's people have to trust me that.
That's right.
What I explain to people is a simple thing. The apps aren't that big. They're fairly small in size when you install them, because they don't need to be big. So just say Phil's name comes out, or anybody's name that's watching, if they download one of the apps and their name comes out, I can't have put that in because I don't know that they were going to download it. So to cover all bases, I would have to know anybody and everybody that's ever downloaded an app, one of our apps, and ever will in the future, and put all their information in there ahead of advance. It's not possible.
That's right.
It's just not possible. I can't put that in there. So, and the apps themselves, they're small, they're very basic. The app works on a very simple principle. Unlike a ghost box that's scanning radio waves and it makes a noise, it does that. It drives me and Sam mad. The noise is like,
oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's greatness. But that noise is there because the spirit. And again, what people the mistake they sometimes make is when we use a ghost box, we're not listening for when it's hitting a radio station to hear a voice. We're listening for the static in between. We're listening to that because that's where the spirit manipulates. They manipulate in that sound. Yeah. So that's where you listen for it. And the apps do the same. But we can't scan radio, obviously. We don't want to do that. So the banks are pre-made. It's male, female tones and vocal tones and things, but it's chopped up into little tiny chunks. So we maybe have one bank that's, say, 40 seconds long. We chop it up into tiny little 1 second chunks and then put them all back together in random order. So even if you did that, if you played that forwards, it would just be gibberish to start with. But then we reverse it. So it's completely backwards. Yeah. And it is complete. It's like an alien language. It's unintelligible gibberish. And then we build up multiple banks. So we maybe say I have 6 banks. And what the app does is very simple. There's nothing pre-programmed. People always use that word. It's got algorithms in it and pre-programmed algorithms and things. They don't. Well, ours don't. It's very basic. All the app says is you've got 6 banks. Pick one at random. So it'll say number 2. And then it's going to play a bank number 2. Then it says we will need to play it for a certain amount of time in milliseconds. So it'll pick a random time in milliseconds, not seconds, milliseconds. So then it'll say, right, I'm going to play it for 1/5 of a second. And then it picks a random volume between 0 and 100. And then it plays it like that. And then it does the same again, rinse and repeat. And it just keeps picking a random bank, a random sweep rate to play it at in milliseconds to a random volume, and just does that at incredible speed. And that creates this sound, this cacophony of sound, which just sounds like random noise and gibberish, which it is.
Yeah.
But as you've seen, we've done when we did, you came to Whitby, and what we've done on the lives, we'll ask a question and a voice will come out forwards. Yes. It cannot be there.
And you get the same voice a few times as well, don't you?
We get the same voice, like the same
voice coming through.
And like we were talking about Phil Newton, he actually had the thing that got him onto the apps back in the day when he first started using them was he used one of our apps, and a friend of his came through, and it was his voice. It was his friend's voice that can't be there. So his friend manipulated that audio, that how it works, and was able to recreate his voice. And Phil said, I recognized the voice. It was him.
Yeah, and his friend said it haunted him anyway, didn't he?
He said he was going to haunt him, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And he true to his word. But in a nutshell, that's how the apps work. And there's nothing in there. People have said, well, I heard a forwards word, so it must have been in there. It's not. They're not in there. And if you want randomness, people have said, well, maybe it's just the sounds mixed together at the exact right time to create a word. The chances of that happening with the way how fast these banks are sweeping, the fact that the banks is chopped up and put into little tiny pieces and then put together random, it'd be 1 in billions.
Right.
Literally 1 in billions that all this random sound just landed perfect to create someone, and they would say the word Phil or Jacqueline or something like that. It's impossible.
Well, there was a live which was done. I was watching it, and the person says, "Can you say a name?" And they said, "Can you say Jacqueline?"
Yeah.
Now it said my name, and it kind of struggled over the name as well, as if it had never heard it.
Yeah.
So it did it like really slowly with the Jacqueline. It really struggled over it.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely awesome. It just did it on demand.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that it went Jacqueline, but to actually say it like that didn't just come out of one bank of audio. That to actually go Jacqueline, seeing as all the banks and things are firing in milliseconds, that must have been over, say, 6-7 banks of audio as it's swapping like at random like that. So it went Jacqueline, which again just shows how impossible that would be just to be random chance.
And it came out differently from how it was pronounced as well.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously it's not recorded or anything. It is something, you know, it's just absolutely awesome. But when I heard that was...
Yeah, it's amazing what comes through these things. I mean, it still blows us away to this day. I mean, every time we've done a live and something, we just sort of like shake our heads sometimes and go, this is crazy.
So quick shout out then. We've got Dave Acethorpe. Thanks for watching. Luke Allerton, Wendy Williams. If you have any questions for Brian Holloway about what he's done sort of in the paranormal field or about the ITC apps he develops, please add them to the questions. Got this question. So what's the best app that you would recommend?
Well, again, there's so many, and not just ours. I mean, there's so many from different developers. But again, it's about like what I said. There's light and dark apps as well, which you've got to look into. I would start off with something very light, very positive. Like I said, do your homework first. If you hear an app or someone using an app, just go and have a bit review of it yourself and a bit thing, and download it. But anything positive. There's a lot of apps out, we've done them ourselves, that are designed to attract slightly darker stuff. Don't go anywhere near them, especially if you're just starting out. Just keep everything positive, keep everything light. And we have apps, positive ones. We did one ages ago called Divinus, and that's pure white light energy that we use.
Yeah, that's an amazing one.
Yeah, I remember that one. Seems like it was like so many years ago as well. It seems like forever ago that we made that. But anything like that. And again, you can try. You don't have to think, because some apps obviously they're a lot of money. They are a lot of money, but there's plenty of apps you can try for free just to get the hang of it and see if you like it first. If you do, then get communication and you feel like that's the way you need to go, then you can go into some more advanced stuff, and then where you start having to obviously pay for some of these things. But there's plenty out there that you can try first for free.
Yeah, that's right. Like I've got quite a few of your apps. I try them out, different places, use different apps. When I go for Taunted Antiques, I've used the Witch app a few times.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you got to be to build up to the Witch one.
Yeah, you don't do it in your own house, put it that way.
No. Yeah, I've always said to people, even Phil did, and he had an interesting old time. But Lois has just said there that the Team Spirit Paranormal. Again, that was a really good one. And again, there's a few good ones. A few the guys we worked with, the Red Ridge guys, and Axiom, and that we made some fantastic apps for those guys. And again, they're quite positive ones as well. They're not, when we do the dark ones, we do well advertise, like, only use this if you know what you're doing type of thing.
Yeah, that's right. You've got to be careful, haven't you?
Yeah.
I actually used one in the house once, and I must have played it for a few seconds, okay. And then I got this black swirling thing going along the floor.
Yep.
And I got it the next day as well. And it's like, what the hell? And I hardly played it.
Yeah.
I don't, I've never seen it to this day, but I don't know what it was, and I don't know what it brought in, but
it can,
interesting.
It can be, it can be that quick. We've had people who run these things and they say, like, I've been running it for a week and I've got nothing, which is good. That is good, because if they've got nothing, it proves that there's nothing in there they planted, because they just keep hearing it all the time.
Yeah.
So they're hearing nothing. But then we've had people turn it on. They've turned it on. And it's just like, boom, away it goes.
Yeah, that's right.
Like yourself, it just starts kicking off.
Yeah, that was really odd, and yeah, it did kind of stop me from using them in the house. I did use one of yours, and I was actually in a council office.
Yeah.
And it was one Para Voice 3. That was it.
Yeah. That was the one that was like an Ovilus type.
So I was kind of waiting for something. So I turned the sound off completely, and it was it just comes out of words.
Yeah.
And it came out with about 3 words. One was quench, one was King's Head, and one was Warren something.
Yeah.
Well, the pubs outside were King's Head and Warren Arms.
There you go.
And the pubs.
Yeah. And again, people always think about when we made that app. There was a bit of controversy at first, because they said, well, it's on a phone, it's just picking random words. And I said, no, it's not. There were other apps that were just random word generators, but what we did, we built the EMF detection into it. And then I had a lot of people say, well, how come the hell you do that? It's not a K2 meter. Your phone cannot detect an electromagnetic field. And I had to actually prove that it could.
Yeah.
And again, it was simple science. Your phone has an electromagnetic compass in it for the navigation side of things. It's a compass, but it's an electromagnetic compass. And if you put an electromagnetic field near that compass, it reacts. So if you bring a magnet close to that compass, it reacts. And we can read that. And spirit are made up of electromagnetic energy. So if they come close to the phone, the theory is that they can manipulate that same compass. And that's what we use. And that's what Paravoice actually uses. Where Paravoice now is called Ostium. We have to change the name. But it's the same thing, basically. So basically, it's a random, got a database of words, like an Ovilus. And then the phone sits and waits. It has to get an electromagnetic interference. It has to get an EMF spike before it will then pick a word. And the spirit picks that word. And it took us a long time to convince people that your phone could actually do that.
Yeah, that's it. But like anything we do, we just try, don't we? And we just do the probability, you sort of ask it to do something, it says that word, it does it. Well, how?
Like what you just said there, where it named the pubs that were outside. Yeah. That app has got a 3,500 word database. It's not just a couple of 100 words in there. So for it to pick those 2 words, those 2 names of the place where you were,
and then quench.
What are the chances of that out of 3,500 words? And to pick the word, it had to get an EMF spike to start with. So something had to interfere with the phone to be able to do that. So
it was strange. It kind of freaked me out. And the thing is, you could use it anywhere without people actually knowing, because it didn't have the sound on it.
You just pick your phone up and go like that and turn it on. You can just turn the volume down, because obviously you can go like the Geiger thing as well, so you can hear the EMF it's picking up. But basically, turn the volume down and you can see the light will flicker if it gets an EMF spike, and a word will pop up on the screen. So you can use it anywhere. And that's what you have,
I won't say what the occasion was, but hey ho. Yeah. We won't go into that. So, would you like to demonstrate then one of the apps?
Yeah, I can put one on. I've got me again, just a standard tablet. You don't need anything fancy, because we tell people, because we get a lot of people who want to try them and they've got iPhones and iPads, and they say, well, how can we won't be able to use it? Just get a cheap tablet. They don't have to be expensive or, like I say, anything fancy. This is just a very generic, cheap Japanese tablet. Yeah. I'll see what we've got on here. You can try. Got Para Unity. I've got a few things installed.
You can try Team Spirit then. If you've got
Team
that
Spirit.
One.
Hang on, 2 seconds. Yeah. I think I've got that one on. There we are. I've got a few things on. Team Spirit Paranormal. Let's get it booted up. Right, so there we are. So basically, you've got the Team Spirit Paranormal app. They wanted a Ouija board design, so hence why it looks like this. And we put a lot of time and effort into, doing what people want, like when we collaborate with teams. So basically, it's very simple. You have got an ambient bank built into this one, because what we do sometimes, we put ambient banks in, which are basically banks you can run before you run the main ghost box that basically just lift the energy in the atmosphere, in the surroundings where you are. They lift your energy and lift the energy of this spirit. It just gets things going. And then basically, nothing complicated. You basically just click the go button. We try to keep these things as simple as you can. So there's a big go button at the bottom. We click that. As you can see, it's now sweeping between the banks at very high speed. I hope you can hear that. That's not a ghost in the background, by the way. That's
no, I can see him.
So yeah, so as you can hear, banks of audio, and it's sweeping between them at high speed, creating a random mash of sound. It's got male and female tones, but it's just, there's no words in there. It's all reverse gibberish. And what we do is we just listen out for forwards audio coming out. We ask a question. I'll see if I can turn it up a bit. And like I said, if you don't hear anything, that's just as important as if you do hear anything.
Yeah, we did have a strange encounter, didn't we, at the castle?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the main part of the castle, which was the ruin. You tried an app, things were coming through, words were coming through, made sense and everything. We then went to a corner of the castle. I don't quite know what part that was.
Yeah.
And nothing was working, was it?
No, it just everything went haywire. The app started acting weird and wouldn't work properly, so we turned it off, if I remember rightly. And everything just started to malfunction a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. And it's just in that specific corner.
Just in that one spot. And when we moved away or walked away, it all just went right again. It just all started working. It was crazy. But again, it was very cool. Because, again, we know, like, the apps shouldn't do what that one did. It just started, like, it sounded weird coming out the speaker, didn't it? It just didn't sound right.
Yeah, it was weird.
And the speaker, I remember picking the speaker up, I was shaking the speaker. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Maybe it's the speaker's running out of power or something. I don't know. And as soon as we walked away and turned it on, it was fine. It just kept going.
Yeah, you always blame the battery, don't you?
Yeah, you always blame the battery first, yeah. But no,
you never know.
That was really a really cool experience. But no,
I had something walking by me then. Yeah. Because we noticed that it looked like something was walking by me because the grass was springing up. Mm-hmm. So when you walk on sort of not long grass, but it was a few inches, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like somebody was walking on the grass and it was just springing up.
Springing up was after you take your foot off it, the weight of your feet, it springs back up. Yeah, and Sam was just stood watching it.
Yeah, and none of us were actually moving.
Yeah, and it was almost like something was just walking around you, and we couldn't see them, but we could see the grass reacting as they were walking. It was really strange.
Yeah, it wasn't even windy either.
No, there was no wind.
It's nothing I've seen like that before.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing about paranormal. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when, and
exactly.
You just ask the questions as well when you get something, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
The grass springing up, have I just stepped there? Why is it doing it? And then it continues to do it. Well, I haven't just stepped there.
You stood still for quite a while. You actually stopped and stood still. And you could still see the grass moving, and in spots where you'd never even stepped in the first place. That was the thing.
Yeah.
It was like, it was really, really crazy. I just wish we'd get more of it on film, because I was stood way back with the camera, if I remember rightly, trying to point down that direction, but I couldn't go any closer because if I went closer, you were stood in that spot where the stuff was malfunctioning. And as soon as I moved close to you, the phone started acting up and we were losing signal.
Right, yeah, because the word
I couldn't get any closer to you.
Well, that's a shame.
It was just causing havoc with the phone.
Yeah, because I did actually wonder about rewatching the live just to see what we did get.
Yeah.
We've got Phil Newton watching.
Oh, hi, Phil, mate. We were just talking about you.
Quick hello to Owen Ellis. And Owen's actually seen a ghost at the Schooner Hotel in Northumberland.
Oh, wow. Yep.
I've actually stayed there. I stayed there for one night. I took my dog, my current dog, And just off the bar, there's a little area with the table and stuff. It's COVID time, so it's like totally deserted apart from me and the dog. And I picked up on a gentleman who was getting quite angry, and I sort of described him to the staff, and they agreed. I picked up. He'd got a monocle over his eye as well, I think, and they confirmed it. But my dog started growling at a chair for no reason.
Yeah,
which is absolutely brilliant. For about a few minutes, he's just growling at this chair.
Yeah. So what was he saying? That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but he didn't want to go near it. He's growled twice for no reason. Once I've got my dog's ashes here, and I stood near my dog's ashes one day and just started growling at the ashes for no reason. And so they do pick up on things, and my old dog did as well. So it's just any way of picking up on sort of spiritual activity, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what we do. We use any means thing, and animals are just seem very in tune and very good at seeing what we can't and sensing what we can't.
Yeah, that's right. And I know, like, I've been on investigations before, and I've got back, and the other dog's been like staring right near the door on a particular spot, or and he'll do it for a few days afterwards. So I bet he's like, oh no, what she brought home now.
Exactly.
That sort of thing.
As far as he sees you walking in, but there could be 3 people behind you that you can.
Me probably, because I've had a few things come home with me, which is
perks of the
not
job.
Good, not clever, but it happens with me.
Well, I've brought a few back myself from some of the dodgy places I've been, but it's just it can happen. That's the thing, and that's what we said again to new investigators: protect yourself, be aware that when you're going into a location, that you put out that intention when you leave, when you're done. That we always stop, and Sam will always say, "She'll either do it mentally, or sometimes we'll say it out loud and we say, we're leaving now. You are not allowed to follow us. We don't give you permission to follow us. You have to stay here. This is where you belong." And we just try and put that intention out, and 9 times out of 10, it works. But sometimes, if something's determined to follow you, it's going to follow you.
Yeah, that's right. And if you do proper grounding and protection, it does help you. Unfortunately, I don't always do it.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I forget quite a lot of the time. That Sam's pretty good at remembering and sorting that sort of stuff out. But I've done it myself, where I've gone into a location and I've just forgotten, walked out and thinking, okay.
And I don't realise till like a few weeks of being absolutely shattered. Then you think, oh God, that's what it is. Or I've done a Zoom call and people have said, oh, you've got this gentleman behind you. And they've described him and thought, oh my God, it's him from there. It's like, oh dear.
Okay. We've all done it. We've all done it. It's part of the job.
It's part of the job. I love it. You should bring him home, and you can play use an app, and then you can talk to him. But quick hello to Annette Locke. Thanks for watching, Sarah A. Stevens. Sorry about that, Owen. He'll still be around you though. But look after yourself, won't you? Annette Locke. Annette had a dog that would growl at the corner, wouldn't take its gaze off it.
Again, because they sensing something that's outside of our field of vision. Again, because you got to remember, a dog's senses are far more tuned than ours in every way: sight, smell, just genuine intuition. So you just know what they see and what they're picking up on.
Yeah, Phil says your guides to your doorkeepers, they play a massive part in keeping us safe.
They do.
They do.
When we were doing some of the lives a year or 2 back, we always think that we had these 2 spirits that would come in that would call themselves the gatekeepers. They would protect and try and keep anything bad out and to the best of the ability. And we actually caught on SLS actually, which was pretty cool. These 2 figures would always map in. And then we had a 3rd one map in behind them coming up the corridor. And one of these figures, the ones that were protectors, turned, shot it to it, and it looked like they were having a tussle. And then they disappeared, and the other one was just still stood there. It was crazy. Wow. And it was just like one of our protectors. I saw this thing coming and said, no, and just out with it, gone. But to actually visually see it on an SLS play out was pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen some good footage with an SLS, and specifically Phil Newton. We're at a house investigation, and he was sitting on the bottom of a bunk bed, and you could see from the SLS this thing was like getting right over his head, basically. And he was getting overshadowed. So I went over to it to sort of say, can you leave him alone, step forward, Phil, and all that. And it was mapped on the SLS. And all of a sudden, I started feeling drained, and this damn thing was kicking me. So it was annoyed at me because I was trying to get Phil through. So it's just mad, isn't it?
To actually see it happening, that's the cool bit.
Yeah, and I think, I have filmed bits as well where you can't, okay, sometimes it maps to a table, it maps to wallpaper. But the thing is, everything, you've just got to question it, haven't you?
Well, the thing is with the SLS, the trick is it can make mistakes. But what people don't realise when they're using the SLS, it's got a sweet spot. That around about 6 feet is about the sweet spot. Anything that's further away, if it starts mapping in, can be an anomaly. Because the lasers are firing and they're bouncing back, and the camera just can't quite pick that up. So it's misinterpreting what it's seeing. So what we used to do, anything that's like right in front of the SLS to about 6 feet, we would question as credible, especially if we could get it to interact. But anything that was further away than that, we'd always be a bit dubious and question that could just be a mistake by the lasers, by the camera picking the lasers up, thinking it's seeing something that's not there because it's outside its range. It's only got a certain range. People think they can just point it down like a corridor that's going from from the ever, and it'll map down there. It won't. It just won't.
Yeah, but it's like everything. You've just got to question things. So
and repeat. If you get a figure map in, move the SLS away and point it back again. See if the figure returns. If it returns, see if you can get it to interact in some way. Get it to move a certain way to rule out the fact it might be anomaly, because an anomaly wouldn't react to what you're saying. So it's just experimenting.
Yeah, it's like if you ask it to like wave its arm and it does. You do try things out just to check that it isn't picking up something.
Exactly, and if you get all those things fall into place where you can move the SLS away and point it back and it's still there, and if it keeps returning, and then if it interacts with you, you've ruled out the fact that it might be just a random anomaly, and you've got something's interacting with you. There's something keeps returning, and it's an important part of what we do. You always have to question everything.
Yeah.
No matter what, you always question it a little bit.
I'm one for questioning to the nth degree, probably too much sometimes. But I do, and I will, because you just don't know, do you?
Exactly.
So we've got Annette. When she was a kid, my mum moved into a house and the dog would not go up the stairs. She found out that somebody had hanged themselves on them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had trouble in my old pub, actually, in the cellars. Once my dog was down there, he was barking. It was German Shepherd at the time. And he came up shaking, and I thought, well, what? So I got him by the collar, took him back, and he's in the right state, and he just legged it, never went down again. Then got a puppy, took the puppy down, carried him, and then he would never go down after that time. So, just never know, do you?
They say they're sensing something. There's something going on.
Yeah. And then the puppy, when I went to another puppy, he would go down the cellar with me. Because he was always with me 24/7. Well, as much as he could be, obviously, when you're not working. But yeah. So, what are you going to be doing then moving forward? Have you got any plans? Anything you want to do?
Well, we want to go out and investigate a little bit, as we always try and do. We can't do that as much as what we'd like. But we have plans, certain places in Whitby that we want to get back into and redo. We are working on a couple of other apps for a couple of the teams. Obviously, we're working on one with Sam and with Karen. They're working on their own thing, which is a cool app that's got their voice pattern in it.
Jesus.
That was
Did you hear that?
Yeah. That was that bottle again?
Yeah.
Crazy. Again, like I say, it could be the temperature affecting the thing, but that was loud.
Yeah, it's been here all day. It doesn't move, It's just there because I'll have a gin and tonic later on, and it's lemonade, but it's not moved. And basically, for anyone watching, I've just got a bottle of lemonade. It's got half the contents gone. It's probably quite flat as well, in all fairness. And just as we were starting it sort of made a quiet sound. And then now, right in the middle of discussion, it's sort of like we ruled out the first one, and then it's really gone for it this time.
That sounded like the top lip popped off.
Yeah, I hope not. Like the dog's like right close to me as well. He's usually is asleep on the settee, so he's giving me a bit of grief as well. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I usually hear sounds around me. It's all good. So yeah, just
one of those things we do. We same here. We sometimes hear and see things, and you think like, oh, what was that? Was it next door? Was it sounded a bit closer than that? And the other night, Sam saw something scurry across the floor, like you said, the black things, and it was like, oh yeah, it was like she was like, oh, God blimey, caught her by surprise a little bit.
Yeah, I could only see what I saw was like, imagine ink for an octopus in the water, and it was just like that, all swirly, and oh gosh. Yeah,
that's the ones.
Oh right, okay, so it is a thing.
It is a thing. We've had that thing a lot. I mean, Sam's seen quite a few of them, but I've had them all my life.
Oh my gosh, okay,
weird,
so yeah,
weird and wonderful shapes and sizes.
Yeah, this was a bit odd, but yeah, it's not something I'll use at home again. But yeah.
Yep. No, not if it's doing that.
No, we'll try it somewhere else though. Just for the fun, really, just to see if it does something else. So, if there's anywhere, is there anywhere specific you'd like to go and investigate? I know there's loads of places.
Oh God, there's loads of places. Obviously, we spoke about once before, like Pendle Hill, places like that. Get to, but again, it's just getting the time and the thing to do that. We've got a bucket list a mile long. If we could actually go to a lot of these places, we'd never be in.
Oh, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you been to a place like Chillingham or?
No, we've not been very far really. We've not done a lot of places outside of Whitby. Yeah, we don't really go very far.
Yeah.
There are a couple of cool places we have done in Whitby, some really cool places, and getting some fantastic results. And a couple of those places we want to go back to.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that happened was so cool and intriguing. We need to try again. We need to go back. But sorry?
Why do you think you're getting the occurrences? Do you think it's down to the building or down to the people who live there or something?
Well, the main one, the resolution that we did, that was down to like what was in there. The guy who took it over and did it up and is the new manager there, he had trouble from the day he went in. and there was something really not pleasant in there. And
that bottle's done it again.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard the pop. It's definitely it's either something trying to tell you something or it's going to explode. One of the two.
Yeah, I think I'll get it because I don't know what's going on with it. Just out of interest, I guess it hasn't really got any gas in it, in all fairness. Oh, it has a bit, yeah. So shook it up. Yeah, it has got gas in it, so that might be it. Yeah, a little bit, but
it's possible. Again, it's one of those things you've got to question it. It's possible. It's just
some cheap lemonade, really.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bent, so yeah. Who knows? Sponsored lemonade.
Yeah, Phil's just commented there that he invited us down his neck of the woods to go and investigate, to spend a bit of time down there, and our room's still available, sitting waiting for us. But we just, like I said, we've never had the time. And now that I'm working as well, and I kind of got funny shift sort of thing, so like fitting stuff in is going to be a bit difficult at the minute.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because of this COVID situation, it's hard to like arrange anything, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's just at the minute everything's up in the air, and it's just when we get chance we'll just go for it. We'll do it. But it's fitting between now, like Sam working and me working. We've got to both be off at the same time, or have a couple of days off a week. We've got to go somewhere in the evening. I don't have to be up at work at 4:30 in the morning, next morning, which would make things pretty difficult.
All right. I've got Dave Jenkins and didn't think much of Pendle Hill. Lots tried to do it at Halloween, but police block it off. Just fields with a few buildings
Yeah.
No one's sure who live there. Yeah.
It's just
That
one of
is
those,
a problem, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing. When these places become popular, people just descend, don't they? And it gets to such a state sometimes the police have to do that. They have to lock these places off because they just become overrun.
Yeah.
But it's one of those places. I mean, it might be, maybe we could go and it could be disappointing. But it's just one of those places where you hear everyone talking about, and it's just, again, it's with the witch theme that Sam and Karen and thing. They just wanted to go and be able to take in that energy and just see for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm heading up to Scotland. So whether I'd like to stop in the lakes or could even head that way,
Yeah.
in all fairness, and just build it in part of the trip. But yeah,
Yeah.
But it depends how long you want to spend there as well. Like if you spend there a few days, then maybe you can get more interaction. If you keep,
Exactly.
going back to the place and just see what you can actually find.
That's it. To really do anywhere justice, you need a couple of days at it. You know what I
You've
mean?
got an invite to Tutbury Castle in August.
Yeah.
Fantastic location. I'm actually speaking to Leslie Smith first Monday of the next month. So
Yep.
not far away. I need to advertise that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and actually Leslie and a few of the other guys. We've got a few people actually coming to visit Whitby. I mean, obviously you came recently. Leslie's coming. We've had the Red Ridge guys here. Well, obviously Phil's been here. He loves it here. We've got Karen coming herself. I think so. We've got Leslie, Phil, and John. Yeah, on when's that? 3rd of July. They're coming.
Philip as well.
Yeah, so we're going to give them the tour that we gave you around the castle.
Nice and walk, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be cool.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
That's just Sam people watching. No, it's okay. Right. Say hello.
Nice, Sam.
That is the perfect spot. We have got the perfect view for people watching. It's amazing. I wish I could take the camera over and give you a look. We can chuck eggs as well if you want to, yeah, if we get annoyed with people.
Yeah, Phil says it'd be a huge parameter, but this is the thing about social media. Like, I found so many people, like, Facebook has got its issues. We know that, it's getting to be a bit of a pain at the moment.
Yeah.
They sort of gave us something, and now they're kind of taking it away from us. Like, I know a couple of people now banned until December for something they did years ago, and it wasn't even don't quite know what it was anyway. So
yeah.
But I've met a hell of a lot of people, and I will be going to see people as well. I'm going up to Scotland. I'm hoping to sort of link up with people, different teams, and it's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, to be fine to be able to see people, and then it'd be kind of normal,
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. Like I say, we enjoy people coming to visit us here, and like I say, we had a good time. Apart from like when we'd finished Mulgrave Castle, Whitby being Whitby as it is, and we walked back at Sand's End, and we come back and we said, well, we'll stop for a drink.
Oh yeah.
And all the pubs were shut, which is unheard of. Even in Sand's End, nothing was open.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was crazy.
But there is an issue now, isn't there, within the hospitality field, and they can't get staff anywhere more.
I think that's what had happened here, that they couldn't get staff in, so they'd had to shut down.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation we could come up with, because they should have been open.
Yeah. Dave Jenkins has mentioned Smalsbury Hall in Preston. Gives good nights for spirits claiming to be witches linked to Pendle, but not sure if they still do events.
Yeah.
Now, Simon Entwistle actually did a live, and I think he does talks around there as well.
Yeah.
And I actually listened to it. It's absolutely fantastic story. So if you do get a chance to listen to that, I think it's on YouTube. But yeah. It looks a fantastic place. So yeah, I'd love to go there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheers, Dave. So we've got a few minutes left. Has anybody got any more questions for Brian?
Yes, fire away. Now is your chance.
Anything anyone want to ask?
Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So all the stuff I use at work, because obviously I clean for a hotel, and we use a lot of sprays and thing chemicals. I come out of there and the stuff I've been inhaling, it's crazy. Gets on my chest.
Dave's done a few events with Simon, and yeah, it's absolutely awesome. I actually met him at Derby Jail. He was actually, it's one of Richard Felix's Christmas parties. He was actually interviewing Richard for something then, and yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, I was quite honoured just to be there watching him interview, with like professional lighting and everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
But, yeah, you just sit there quietly like, wow, this is so cool. But yeah. Yeah, and like Phil is a great tour guide. That's one of the things I do want to go and see him do a tour as well. So Annette Locke wants to know what the most active location is which you've been to.
Been to a few. Again, the resolution we did here was quite active. I got one of the biggest scratches I've ever had, and we had crazy activity. And again, some of the places I've done in Gibraltar was nuts, but the most active was a place I did many years ago. You've got all these wonderful locations. We've done castles, we've all done them, and all the things, and I've run around inside the Rock of Gibraltar in places where you normally can't get, and amazing. But the craziest place I ever did was a council house on a council estate, a basic little council house. Yeah, it was just up near where I lived in Crook, and it was up on a little hill, and it was that bad I nicknamed it House on Haunted Hill. It was crazy, the stuff that was going on in there, and then the stuff that the couple in there was having. And I got the opportunity to go in many times. It was a place I could keep going investigating, and the activity in there, we were seeing balls of light, not through night vision cameras, with our own eyes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just would float past and go through the wall, and you think like, what was that?
Yeah.
Did I just see that? You know what I mean? It's like absolutely insane, and stuff moving. The lady and the gentleman that lived there, they had in the bedroom, they had a cupboard that was just on a latch, and it would shut, the cupboard door, and every night it would be open, and they'd shut it, and then it would open again, then shut, then open, then shut. And we went to investigate, and I put a digital recorder in there just to see if I could get anything, because it was a very active spot. And when we went downstairs, we came back 20 minutes later, played it, there was a male voice on there, and this used to happen every night, this door opening, and this weird voice just said, "Expect us nightly." Clear as a bell. And this digital recorder was in a little cupboard. You know what I mean? And it was weird, crazy. It was classy AVP. And every time we went in, it just got crazier and crazier. So yeah, sometimes some of these big locations we do, they're fantastic. And yes, you get activity, but it doesn't have to be in a 500-year-old castle or a 1,000-year-old castle or anything like that. Sometimes just someone's home. Simple as that.
Yeah. Phil said did a private location where he witnessed the same things.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, anywhere can actually have something attached
sometimes
to it, or the bit of land, the property, or the people, or even objects as well.
Yeah. Because it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mad. So Mark Trevelyan says, have you ever been to East Drive?
Nope. Again, one of those places where I'm not 100% convinced with, but if I could get the chance, if I could go, I would go just to experience myself, to see what was actually going on there. Sometimes I'm a bit worried with these locations that are like almost like pay-per-view. You've got to pay to get in, and it's run as a business.
Yes.
I'm always a bit funny with places like that. Sometimes I'm not saying East Drive it could be a genuine place. Yeah. But when it all starts coming down to money, I start getting dubious. I know sometimes businesses have to charge, say like the museum you go to, you run it this thing, and they have to rent the building. But when it's someone's home, like East Drive, that's like this place becoming haunted, and me saying to people, "I'll rent it out for you for the night." You know what I mean? Because then I'm not saying it's not genuine, but again, like what we say about question and stuff.
Yeah, and is the key holder next door or something? I don't know. Something like that.
It's something like that. And so, and it's basically just you pay to go in, and it's just about money. It's just a money making thing. And to me, if I don't work like that. If my place was haunted and I wanted people to come and experience it, I just let them come in.
Yeah, that's right.
I wouldn't start charging 60 quid a head at the door. You know what I mean? Just the way we are. So, but I would still like to go. I would like to go and experience it for myself, to go in, to rent it out for however long you get for whatever you pay, and just go in and sit there and just see.
Yeah, just take in the.
Yeah, just to see it might be 100% genuine.
Yeah,
like Phil's just said there, it's been done to death.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and there was one medium who apparently went and cleansed it. Question mark. But hey ho.
Yeah, it's another story.
No idea. That one sort of hit the headlines, didn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I remember it well. So I was thinking, what's that all about? You know.
Yeah. Dave thinks it's overrated. You know, like everything, it is on my list. I did actually book on it once, but then that particular event was cancelled. I did go to De Grey Street, and okay, I had a car crash overnight. It was horrendous, but that was more to do with a very leaky roof and the water coming through all the ceilings. But yeah, that wasn't a good night.
Yeah.
But you know, there are loads of places to go, and maybe one day we'll see.
One day we'll get there.
Yeah, that's it. But I want to thank you so much, Brian,
you're welcome.
Stepping in for Sam. And
no problem.
I want to thank you all as well, everyone who's asked questions. Thanks everyone for watching, and look after yourselves. Next week I've got Mark Dudley on, so it's going to be interesting. I've actually met Mark and investigated with him at Haunted Antiques. So yeah,
excellent.
So take care, everyone, and thanks, Wendy, as well. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Stay safe, everyone, and goodbye. Yay, Mark Dudley. Cheers. Bye.